With the weather being all dreary and nasty and cloudy out, and they're talking about rain later, it's all cold and nasty out there. It's actually that kind of a day. That's what I feel like doing, just napping all day. Well, at least we got the fire going. But actually, I want to turn the fireplace off and turn that fan on because it's so hot. But I guess once summer gets here, hopefully when summer finally gets here, we'll have something like that. But right now, I got a holster to work on, so let me put y'all on my tripod and I'll get to work on that and show you what I'm doing. It's burnishing time. I prefer to do burnishing when it's brighter out because, you know, I can get the light glitting on it and I can see it better. But this side, let me see now. I've done a wet burnish on, and this side I haven't done anything on. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. What I do is I just take a sponge and I wet a section of it. Doesn't have to be soaking wet, just a little bit damp. And I take my burnisher and just start, well, burnishing. Moderate pressure, and before too long, you get yourself a nice, where am I? Nice burnished edge. Now I'm going to continue out that all the way around the rest of this thing. And when we come back, it'll be time for some Gum Trag. Alright, okay, I've got the wet burnishing done, and it's time for my Gum Trag. I always shake stuff up. I don't know if it's always necessary, but just in case. And I put it in my clamp here so I don't accidentally knock it over. I spilt some stuff and my wife one day said, "You got to figure out a way to not do that." So I stick them in a clamp.
Do that.
Don't do that. And the Gum Trag, you just put a little bit along the edge.
Living on the edge.
You don't have to use great gobs of it. Some people do all their burnishing with Gum Trag, but I have personally found I get the best results if I do a water burnish and then I go back over the edges with the Gum Trag. To some people that's an extra step, but to me it's worth it because I think it looks better. It gives me a nicer edge. And after all, if you're doing leather work, it's not something you're doing because you're lazy. So why take shortcuts? While it's true, I use powered machines to do my sanding. With everything else, it's all done by hand, like the burnishing of the edges. There are people that use moto tools like a Dremel, or get something that you can chuck up into a drill press, and they burnish their edges that way, and they get pretty good results. But I do it all by hand. And I'm going to give that a moment or two to soak in and dry a little bit, and then it'll be back to burnishing. Okay, that's had a few minutes to dry. And just the same kind of thing, just go through. While it's still a little bit gooey. And burnish as. What the Gum Trag does, well, the wet burnish burnishes the edges, but they're not going to stay that way. So the Gum Trag acts as kind of a binder, I guess, for the fibers, and that holds them down and keeps that nice shiny burnished look. But the Gum Trag also needs a top coat. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish it. You can see how that's coming out there. And let the Gum Trag completely dry. And then it's time to stitch this thing. But that's the burnishing of the edges. Now I'm just going to continue doing this. Get all of these edges all nice and pretty and burnished. And then we'll come back and either it'll be stitched or we're going to stitch it. So either way, we'll see you in a little bit.